Weird is an understatement to describe this movie, but that's not necessarily a bad thing.
I wanna fold clothes for you. I wanna make you feel good. Baby, I wanna do the right thing.
Hey y'all, it's Producer, and I am giving you the long-awaited review that I keep telling you I was going to do of Sorry to Bother You. And like I said, this movie was weird, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. But it can be off-putting for a lot of people, and it was still off-putting for me, and I'm sexual. I'm definitely a weird individual. But I'm going to get into the real specifics and later on in the video. Like I said, spoilers at the end. So I'm going to cover all the most generic stuff as I can that won't spoil anything. You can find out all this information through looking at the trailers. You know, I just give you a bit more info. So anyway, so first thing to note is that Boots Riley is the director of this film, and he's also the screenwriter of this film, and he's also the songwriter of this film. Because I stayed at the end for the after credits to see if anything would happen, and nothing really did happen except for I saw this one interesting thing at the end. But when they showed the songs, they were all credited by Boots Riley. I was very surprised. I didn't know. When I Googled it, he actually performed a lot. It's like songs you can buy right now if you want. So I didn't know that. But speaking of the cast and crew, it was a star-studded cast. Okay, the main actor, Lakeith Stanfield, this was his first breakout film. Well, not breakout film. First film where he's the main star. But in every other media that he's been in, he always steals the show. So I think it's funny that he now has a movie that's focused on him. But yeah, Lakeith Stanfield from Get Out and Atlanta. You know, Tessa Thompson, and if you don't know Tessa Thompson, I don't know where you been. I don't know where you been. You have Jermaine Fowler, and then you have Stephen Yeun. I think it's pronounced Yoon. Then you have Omari Hardwick, which I didn't realize it was him. I don't know why. I guess the white voice really confused me. But Omari Hardwick is in this, and then Danny Glover's in this as well. What's it called? Arnie Hammer, and then the white voice actors of David Cross and Patton Oswalt. So yeah, star said, oh, and Terry Crews is in there too, but he's not in there a lot. He's not in there a lot, which sort of bothered me, but I'm gonna get into that later. But yeah, it's a star-studded cast, and they all have phenomenal acting talent, especially with this very weird film. You're gonna need acting talent to really bring out the, I guess, chaos? I'm gonna just go with chaos in this film. So I'm gonna go into why I keep saying that this film is weird. So, like I said, this film is about capitalism and about racism, but mostly about capitalism and how money changes you and how people do weird stuff for money. It's weird because there's a twist at the end. I'm going to get into that later on, obviously. But it's also weird because it just does a lot of very artsy stuff. Tessa Thompson's character, Detroit, she's an artist, so she does a very artsy thing in the middle of the movie. And I'm still trying to understand what that was about. I think it was a criticism to Cassius, which is Lakeith Stanfield's character. But I don't really understand that. Then there was a weird compliment competition. And then there was there's a VIP room for the telemarketers. And I guess it's supposed to depict how uncomfortable he is with all these people. He's not a people person. I don't know. There was a lot of scenes where I'm just sitting here this is weird. This is out of the ordinary. But it's not a bad thing, because this movie is it's low-key science fiction, because it's taking place in today. It's a modern movie, but it's in a different timeline, you know? This isn't that grounded in reality is what I'm trying to say. So you can take liberties like that. In this, what's it called? In the film, they have this thing called Worry Free, which is, I guess, if Walmart had people live in Walmart as well. It's basically like it's called worry free because they pay you, right? And you work there and you have place to sleep and eat because they give you food as well. So it's like worry free. There's nothing to worry about. You can't be homeless, you can't be hungry, and you can't be unemployed because you take care of all three things. But it has a darker side to it. And so this is what I say about like what's it called? On the criticism on capitalism, I will go. I keep saying this a lot, but I'll go into this later on in the spoiler part. But what I don't get is this is not what I thought the movie was going to be. I knew this movie was gonna be like how money corrupts you because I saw this one The Root interview. The magazine The Root with Boots Riley on Twitter like a couple days before the movie came out. The first trailer that got me excited a long time ago. It basically he was a telemarketer. I knew that stayed the same, and basically Danny Glover was like, you got to use your white voice and you'll get more calls. And so I thought the movie was just gonna be about that in particular, just about the white voice and how I guess people are more accepting of white people on the phone. And because people have made up like the joke about the white voice. You make your sound a lot less intimidating, a lot less ghetto, a lot less, what's another stupid stereotype? Aggressive, as Danny Glover describes it, you have your bills paid and you have absolutely no care in the world. That's what you sound like. So I thought it was gonna be more about that. But it didn't focus on it. So just so you know, that's what the movie is about going into it. So I saw this movie with my parents, and I knew that my dad wouldn't like it because he likes action movies and he likes comedy movies. Now, don't get me wrong, this movie was actually very funny. Like, there's a lot of portions that I'm going to talk about in the spoiler section that made me cackle. I was dead, okay? This was like this really one musical section that I was absolutely on the floor. But I'm not going to get into that because, of course, it's spoiler territory. But my point is trying to say is he didn't like it, and especially with the twist. He thought it was he was like, all right, I clocked out. This movie is way too much for me. It made no sense. He actually thought it was stupid. But it's my father. Like, I didn't really think he would like it because it's not really that action-packed. It's not that happy-go-lucky comedy. It's sort of like a dark comedy, but not really. Not too dark. And I low-key think some things like went over his head. But I'm not going to make assumptions. I just think that's what happened. Anyway, with my mother, however, with the twist, she thought it was extra because the twist, in my opinion, was a lot. It was a lot. But she saw what they were trying to do. She thinks they could have done it a bit differently, but she sees what they were trying to do. And so this is where I end my spoiler-free portion by saying that there's going to be a lot of weird moments, and you're probably going to hear from people that it's pretty weird, but they make a lot of good commentary from this weird stuff because they're thinking about things in a different angle. So anyway, I hope y'all see it. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, it would get like a 9 if, actually no. Yeah. This sounds really weird because I'm thinking out loud, but I give it an 8.5 because the weird stuff was too much for me, but I see what they were trying to do, like with my mom. So if you're a little scared by that, I say see it anyway. It's a great movie, has a great commentary on society, especially with racism and capitalism. But don't think it's an attack on capitalism. It's just how it could be better, but people exploit it. So don't think there's going to be like some Soviet type of stuff. Anyway, thank y'all for coming over to my channel. I do other black content reviews on movies, TV shows, YouTube stuff, and I put you on to lesser known black content called Putting Y'all On. I'm about to do one on this up and coming season 2 of a show. We're reviewing season 1 of it, and I perform poetry. Sometimes it's super black and sometimes it's not. So Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching, and spoiler section is coming right up. They turned the workers into horse people! Okay, just had to get off my chest. Cause like I just kept saying the twist, and I just like saying like, oh, they the twist and everything. I want to get to it. Well, that was a twist. They turned the worry-free, turned their workers into horse people. That was wild. And I see what they tried to do with it, right? Because they're trying to, because the left eye was like, oh, this is slavery, right? And so if you think about history, in order for the white slave owners, well, in the Americas anyway, for the white slave owners to justify slavery, they had to dehumanize the all the black and brown people that they enslaved. And so I guess this is like a metaphor for that, by literal dehumanization, by turning them into animals or human horse hybrids. And this is again like on the weird thing, because like that was weird, but like when Steve Liff was like, oh my gosh, you could have a horse dick. I mean, not a horse dick, a horse cock, because he's white, so he says cock. I was like, anyway, I see what they tried to do there, but I don't know. I feel like there could have been a better way for y'all to do that, but I mean, it worked. I understood what y'all were trying to say, and it's also to show how businesses will do whatever they can to make sure they, because business is always trying to talk about efficiency, and you know, to be more efficient, they sometimes kick people out. Well, the people aren't kicked out this time. They're just turned into horses and get their humanity stripped of them. Yikes. But anyway, so this, like I said, this movie has commentary on capitalism, criticism on capitalism. So not only there's that, there's other things, other crazy things that people do for money. Like the whole premise of the TV show, I got the shit kicked out of me. Just that alone. That alone. And then there was like the idea of greed changing people, because of course Cassius, because this isn't Grownish. Cassius chose money over Detroit and his people. So he went with the higher ups and he became lonely, and he betrayed the worker union that he was part of and he spearheaded. Like, I mean, there's not much more you can say. Like, greed changed people. Because he wanted to get that coin, he left all the people that helped him, which is pretty fake. And also, a lot of people were in the worker union and they were protesting everything, right? And they were so, we need to get paid, because I don't think they were even paid, period. Because that wasn't even the issue. Oh, we need to get paid more. They kept saying we need to be paid. So that's a problem. They did all this work and they weren't paid. So yeah, that's a problem. Yeah, when they went viral, not viral, when they went on the news talking about it, not much really changed. And the corporation definitely didn't care either. So it's like, it's just to show the apathy that society has for issues like that, for the blue collar worker. So I think that was really interesting how they did that. My final thing about the capitalism is that this isn't a film. Like I said earlier, this isn't a film to like portray capitalism as like a bad thing or whatever. But it's just to show how it can be. Well, it doesn't show how it can be better. But obviously, it's like a thing like, these are the evils of capitalism. And when you highlight them, hopefully they can be changed, you know? Maybe people will be better. Maybe in real life, people, you know, will focus on worker issues. Like, for example, there was Amazon in Europe. They had a whole bunch of worker strikes. Maybe those will get fixed. Stuff like that. I don't see it as, oh, we need to get rid of capitalism, because I don't see that going away anytime soon. Anyway, that was the movie and its criticism on capitalism. This movie also had a lot of remarks on racism. Like, that's what like I said earlier, I thought the movie was going to be about racism, because when I first heard about the movie, it was about like Lakeith using a white voice to be better at his business. That's what I thought it was gonna be like a criticism on that, but no, this movie, that was barely like in the film. It was used a lot, but they didn't really talk about it too much. Only time it was ever really mentioned outside of work was when he did that toast, which was really creepy. That was really because like it shows no. That also bothered me actually. How did you learn to do that with no practice? How did you do that? And also with the white voice, there's also times where Detroit tells Cassius to stop doing it because sometimes he does it without even knowing that he does it, which is a problem. But that's really it, you know. Oh, and white voices only at the power collar area. But I thought they were gonna do more with it. Also with the power collar demographics, you know. There was only like 3 black people. I think there was an Asian, but predominantly white. And all the people of color had used their white voice. Like, interesting. And then there's with Steve Lift, and he was like, Cassius, how about you rap for us? I know you can rap. How? Especially when he says he can't rap. I bet Lakeith really can't rap in real life. That'd be funny. And then, what I don't get, but like the real thing that I'm really trying to wrap my head around, like the big racial commentary in my opinion, was the nigga shit song. Okay? That was wild. I think it's funny that Boots Riley, he's a songwriter, he's accredited as a songwriter, but like there's not much to write for nigga shit. Unless nigga shit also includes like the failed attempts earlier. Anyway, that does 3 things. 1, okay, it's like a criticism on rappers. Okay, it's on criticism on mumble rappers / like effortless rappers that don't really put too much effort into it. They just want like a hook and get a check. 2, it's a commentary on white people in the N-word and how comfortable they are with it. And 3, well, the hook could have been anything, right? It could have been like ass and titties. Ass and titties. Obviously not ass and titties because that is already a song. But you get my point. He could have done anything to prove the point that he just did like some effortless rhyme, effortless hook to get people excited. But he chose the words nigga shit because it has a commentary on vulgarity and how people really love the N-word, especially white people. So I thought that was super interesting. Super interesting. And I have not checked out any other reviews just so all my thoughts are purely my own and no one can be like, oh, that's what someone else said. Or, let me phrase that. Y'all can say someone else said it, but I don't want people to think that like I stole other people's ideas. No, I don't want y'all thinking that. Which sucks because I don't get to see people's reviews until later on. But anyway, that's what I think was like the huge racial commentary. Besides, of course, the white voice thing. But the white voice thing was, in my opinion, wasn't even that big of a thing. Oh, actually, that reminds me. Before that, he told him to stop using his white voice. Because that's what he wanted to hear. Because he wanted to hear that Oakland grit. Okay, sir. So yeah, I'm about to just end this with a bunch of pros and cons. So let's just see how I like the movie overall. So I don't like that Terry Crews is in the movie, but he's barely in the movie. Like, he's listed as like a main character, but he barely does anything. He's even in a trailer, which really gives you the impression that he's super important. But he's not. Tragic. Utterly tragic. He could have been super interesting in this film. Because Terry Crews plays a lot of unorthodox characters. But oh well. Oh well. Another thing I don't like was okay, so I get it. Cassius chose money over Detroit and his friends. So Detroit left him. That makes sense. And then so Detroit has relations with Squeeze. I get that. But what I don't like is that y'all was already building up this relationship before hers officially ended with Cash. That's pretty bad, y'all. No, y'all are, I don't like that. I don't like that. Y'all trying to make her look like a hoe. Don't you do that to Tessa Thompson. Don't you do that to her. And, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I was talking about, talking about the art scene. I didn't really get that. But I'm not going to say it's a con. I think maybe I just probably don't understand it. I'm going to watch a bunch of reviews later on. So I'm going to understand it later on. And there was something else too. I can't think of it. I'm going to be so upset because it's going to come to me later on. But anyway, for the pros, this movie was super good with this criticism. It was commentary. The movie was super good with its comedy. Oh my gosh, this movie got me rolling. Like, the nigga shit had me dead. And the movie had a great cast. Everyone was great at acting because you gotta be really good at acting to perform this type of story. But yeah, I think that's really it. The story itself it's a really good story. If it can be adapted to several different things, just take out the whole Equisapien thing, and honestly, the story would have been perfectly fine, but that sort of rubbed me the wrong way, especially with the reveal at the end that Cassius actually is indeed Equisapien, and he goes to Steve's house and he like ruins things. That bothered me as an ending. Like, really? Because now I sort of want another movie. Like, is he going to revert back? Like, I really didn't like that. I thought it was going to be a nice, happy ending, and y'all just threw this really bittersweet ending. I mean, Steve got his comeuppance, but Cassius is a whole horse. So, that rubbed me the wrong way. I guess that's a con. But anyway, yeah, I really like this movie, and y'all should, if you made this far, either you're not going to see it, or you already saw it. But anyway, so I'm not gonna say y'all should see it, but what did y'all think of this film? That's what I'm gonna say. What did y'all think of this film? Did you like it? Did you think the Equisapiens were too much? Did you, what's it called? Did you like the comedy? Were you shook when they revealed their own merch at the end of their own movie? That got me shook. Oh, that's the thing. At the end of the movie, I thought there was going to be credits. I mean, not credit, like post-credit stuff. Like in Marvel, I felt like it was going to be that type of movie. But while I didn't see that, I found out that like the copyright of this film is under worry-free. What? Wild. Absolutely wild. That's probably like the word for this movie. Wild. Like the horses that they turn people into. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Like I said, tell me what y'all thought. And I will see y'all whenever when I get back to Luke Cage. Or maybe I won't. I'm just kidding. I'm getting back to Luke Cage.
You ain't talking money, it's something I don't care about. Black and money minded, they call me a low, let me out. Beyond cloud, I put a rest to the naysay. I only know getting money, my only attack is